Hello everyone and welcome back to another Essential Album video. We're now on week 35 and this week we're taking a look at Outlandos De Amor by the Police. First released November 17th, 1978. Some notable tracks on this album include Next to You, Roxanne, Can't Stand Losing You, and So Lonely. I really wanted to do a Police album for this series and just found it really hard to pick like my favorite Police album. I don't know if this is one is necessarily my favorite, but this is the one that I ended up picking. Like I think they have like 5 albums and they're all really good in my opinion. Like they have like this one. There is Regatta de Blanc, which is their I believe their second album. Then you have Zenyatta Mandata. Their naming is kind of just all over the place. I think it's Ghost in the Machine or something like that, and then Synchronicity 2. Synchronicity 2, I think, is considered to be their best. But yeah, we're going with this one here. This is just a great debut from them. Obviously, probably never ever going to be touring again. I was too young to obviously see them when they were initially around. I think they broke up in like 1985. And then unfortunately wasn't able to go to the 2007 or 2008 reunion show. They toured for that. But luckily, I was able to at least see Stuart Copeland back in 2022 at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert in LA. I think Stuart Copeland is probably my favorite member of the Police. He's just incredible, like an incredible drummer. Doing all these crazy like rock beats, but just with such finesse that it looks like he's just like chilling. He's just like it looks like he's not really putting in a whole lot of crazy effort into it. Just like like I said, his finesse on the drums is just like immaculate, and he's definitely on my like short list of like my favorite all-time drummers. Like not just like technical skill wise, like I think his technical skill is like off the charts, but just the music that he helped create with the Police is incredible. Kind of unfortunate now because I know Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers are suing Sting over like royalties. I don't really know how the whole like legal aspect of that works. But apparently Sting makes like a lot more money off the royalties than those two. I do think that they should probably be given a little bit more than kind of what they're getting just based on their contributions to the sound of the Police. So I've been one thing I wanted to bring up is I picked up recently at a used CD store this amazing Police compilation. I think this is like their 2007 compilation. So a lot of just great hits on this. I think like what we got here, 14 tracks, 28 tracks on this thing. Picked it up for like $6. It was obviously used, but still sounds really good. And the cool little bonus with this, if I can find it, here we go. You have the little booklet here, and obviously has some kind of like doesn't really have any liner notes, but it does have the track list, some cool pictures. Obviously, the Police right there. But the really cool thing on the back of it is I think a replica of their record release party from, looks like this is from Madame Wong's in LA. And this is I think a replica of the poster used to promote that release. So just really cool little replica poster there that was included in the CD. Let me put that away. But yeah, now we're going to be talking about this incredible album. I think all their albums are incredible. Like the Police are actually like one of my favorite bands. I have some notes here about this. We'll get to all that, including the track list and everything else. So let me just pull this up here. There we go. So the Police, Outlandos De Amor, released November 17th, 1978. This is their debut studio album, and the translation of the album basically translates, I think it's French, translates roughly to Outlaws of Love. And apparently this was recorded off of a budget of like £1,500. And I think they got the money from their manager at the time, who was Miles Copeland, who is the brother of Stuart Copeland. sorry, excuse me. So it took 1,500 pounds to record the album. Sorry, excuse me. Record it. They did 3 singles for the album, including the singles were Roxanne, Can't Stand Losing You, and So Lonely. When they decided to release a single, I think they first released Roxanne, and it wasn't very well received initially. I think it totally failed to chart, but the record label, which was A&M, gave them another chance with another single, which was, I believe, Can't Stand Losing You, and that ended up becoming a pretty big hit. It became such a hit that A&M Records then decided to release the entire album. Like I think at that point they had used that 1,500 pounds, recorded the entire album, and were basically, I think, using that as more like a demo tape, even though it was basically a completely done album. So they released Roxanne, that didn't do great. But then Can't Stand Losing You became a hit, and then A&M Records released the album after that single did fairly well. We see here, we got that. Basically, there's like, it's kind of always hard for me to kind of categorize their music. I put them in the rock category generally, but they also, like, there's elements of new wave there. There's elements of, on this album, reggae and pop. So kind of like a new wave pop reggae sound is what they kind of have, and that kind of carries through all of their records. Because I remember one time I think we were in high school, and like somebody was playing Roxanne. It was like playing somewhere, and people were talking about how it sounded very reggae. And I even think, was it Can't Say Losing You? I think Sting actually used a Bob Marley song as, I think it was No Woman, No Cry, as the basis of it. It was either Can't Say Losing You or Next to You. I don't remember exactly which one it was. But I remember them mentioning that when we were listening to that song in high school, Roxanne, somebody was mentioning, a classmate mentioning that it like reminded them of like, had like a reggae vibe to it, which it absolutely does. Apparently, Miles Copeland initially wanted to name the record Police Brutality, but then after listening to the song Roxanne, ended up wanting them to have a more like romantic name to their album, and that's where the Outlandos de Amor name comes from, and again, roughly translating into Outlaws of Love. The album kind of came out to mixed reviews, at least at first. It didn't like do particularly great, but then reviews later on have obviously been much more favorable, and I think even Rolling Stone listed it as one of the best debut albums like of all time. Like, it's an incredible debut. Might not be their best, but it's a very good showing on their first time out. Let me take a look at the reviews here. We're going to bring those up. All right, so here we have reviews. So AllMusic has it at a 4.5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. A 3 out of 4 from the Chicago Tribune. 4 out of 5 from Rolling Stone. Sacramento Bee gave it a 3.5 out of 4. Smash Hits has it at a 7 out of 10. Sounds has it at a 3.5 out of 5. Spin Alternative Record Guide has it at a 7 out of 10. Tiny Mixtapes reviewed it at 4 out of 5. Uncut gives it a 4 out of 5 as well. And the Village Voice has it at a B+. But yeah, I think like retrospectively it ends up reviewing better than it did initially. I think a lot of people weren't sure what to think of, like the sound, like the new wave pop reggae sound was kind of weird. Like I said, it's kind of hard to categorize like their music. Sometimes like they might have an album or a song that's more on the pop spectrum or more reggae. I think like Roxanne has like a lot of reggae elements to it. Some of the stuff is like even like in the like vein of like punk music. So it's just really interesting. There's a couple other things here. Apparently some of the singles, so the singles for both Roxanne and was it Can't Stand Losing You, didn't do Roxanne didn't do well. Can't Stand Losing You became a hit, but BBC had an issue with both of them. They didn't like. I don't think the BBC liked the singles particularly that much, and apparently they also banned, I think, playing of the Can't Stand Losing You single because the cover for the single is actually Stuart Copeland with like a noose around his neck, standing on a block of ice. So they were like the imagery of that single is kind of crazy, and like I think with those two singles, BBC was turned off by the themes of both the songs. So the theme of Roxanne, it obviously deals with prostitution. The theme of Can't Stand Losing You deals with suicide, and BBC wasn't really interested in any of that necessarily. We're now going to move into our track list here, and this is one of those albums where it falls into the perfect runtime for me. It's a little under 40 minutes. This is what we got here for the actual runtime. Pull it up. 38 minutes and 14 seconds. And it comes in at a total of 10 tracks. So track 1 is Next to You. That's a great one. That one actually kind of goes kind of hard with that one. So track 1 is Next to You. Track 2 is So Lonely, another great track off the album. Track 3 is Roxanne. Track 4 is Hole in My Life. Track 5 is Peanuts. Track 6 is Can't Stand Losing You. That's a great one. That might be my favorite track on the album. Either that or Next to You, probably. But yeah, anyway, track 6 is Can't Stand Losing You. Track 7 is Truth Hits Everybody. Track 8 is Born in the 50s. Track 9 is Be My Girl, Sally. And then closing it out is track 10 with Masoko Tenga. So again, 10 tracks, 38 minutes and 14 seconds. Just a great debut from an incredible band. One thing I regret, musically, is never being able to see them live. I was never able to really obviously see them initially, and then wasn't able to see them when they did their reunion back in 2007 through 2008. Luckily enough to see Stuart Copeland at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, though. That was incredible. But yeah, a reunion would be, if I could see them live, that would be incredible. They're probably on my list of if there's one band you could bring back to see live, who would it be? It's the Police are definitely high up on that list. They might even be at the top. Like I said, Queen would be on there, obviously with Freddie Mercury, but I have seen Queen obviously without Freddie Mercury, and it was still incredible. But yeah, being able to see the Police live would just be outstanding. I feel that they obviously had a lot of issues that obviously caused their breakup, and then kind of apparently immediately after they announced their reunion, a few shows in, there was already members of the band were at each other's throats already. But that's one of the beautiful things of music is sometimes some of the best music and the best bands are for bands that don't necessarily get along and have a lot of personal issues between the different members, and the Police are kind of case in point with that kind of thing. So they put out 5 incredible albums, this being one of them. But it would just be really cool to see them live. But I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I probably have better chances of getting struck by lightning or something. But just an incredible album, and that compilation was great with that replica little poster. Let me actually just flip it out one more time. Just a really cool little packet with that CD set. And yeah, the tracks on this are let me actually just pull up where it all the tracks on this thing are incredible. So obviously that's what it looks like when you take the yellow bit out of it. But yeah, let me actually put this back in here. And yeah, this is an incredible compilation. Let me actually, if it wants to go back in there. So yeah, you have on this album, you have Fallout, you have Can't Stand Losing You, Next to You, Roxanne, Truth Hits Everybody, Hole in My Life, So Lonely, Meshes in a Bottle, Regatta de Blanc, Bring on the Night, Walking on the Moon, Don't Stand So Close to Me, Driven to Tears, Canary in a Coal Mine, Do Da Da Da, I think I may have said that correctly, Voices Inside My Head, Invisible Sun, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, Spirits in the Material World, Demolition Man, Every Breath You Take, Synchronicity 1, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Walking in Your Footsteps, Synchronicity 2, King of Pain, Murder by Numbers, and Tea in the Sahara. Just an incredible compilation with a good amount of stuff off of Outlandos Day Amore on there as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. We'll be back in a week with a whole new Essential album. No idea what that's gonna be just yet, but we'll be back in a week with that. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one.